Hello, on this video I'm going to talk about C++ friend function, how to create one, and I also want to talk about the left shift operator as well as the plus operator. I'm not sure if in this context this is also called the left shift operator though, but I'm going to use this for the output stream. Here's some characteristics of the friend function. And I'm gonna cover all of them except the last one. I'm not gonna cover inheritance on this video. I'm gonna cover the fact that a friend function is outside the class scope. It does not belong to the class. A friend function can access the private, public, and protected members of a class. I'm going to show two examples of operator overloaded. And the last thing is the friend function is not inherited. Here I have the Visual Studio and I'm gonna create a new project. I'm gonna create a C++ console app project. I'm gonna do a clean up here. And the first thing I'm gonna do is to create a class. So I'm gonna do a right click on source files and add a class. And I'm gonna name this class the dog class. So here in the dog class, inside the private, I'm gonna create a variable called age, an integer called age. And then after that, I'm gonna create my friend function. So here's a friend function. Now this function can be created right here on private or on public or on protected. You can create this friend function anywhere you want. I'm gonna create this on private for now. So the first thing to create a friend function is to put the word friend. Then you create the function just like it creates any other function. So this function is gonna be void celebrate birthday. So this is when the dog celebrates birthday. So now I'm gonna make a mistake here, and then I'll come back to fix this. But I just want to make a mistake here to show you a couple of things. So the other thing I want to create here is a void do something function. And then now I'm going to create the definition of both functions because I want you to see the difference between those two functions. So first I'm going to hover over and then show potential fix and create a definition of the function. So this is a class function. In other words, it belongs to the class. Now I'm gonna go back to the header file and I'm gonna do the same thing with the friend function this time. So hover over, show potential fixes, and then create the definition. So this one here is my friend function. So one thing that you notice here immediate when looking at both functions is that the class function have the scope operators. So colon and colon, this is called the scope operator. So the scope operator tells us which class a function belongs to. So in this case, the do something function belongs to the dog class. But when we created the definition of the friend function, it did not have the scope operator in the class. That means this friend function does not belong to the class. I'm gonna go to the main function and I'm gonna instantiate the dog class here. So first I'm gonna include the dog class and also the using namespace standard. So now I'm going to instantiate the dog and I'm going to call this dog Bella. Bella is the name of the dog. So if I want to call a function that's a member of the dog class, I'm going to type Bella and then dot the name of the function. So this function here is called do something. So this works, it compiles. Now the do something function doesn't do anything from now, so I'm gonna put something here on the do something. And I'm gonna do the same thing with celebrating birthday. And then from the main program, I'm gonna call the do something like I normally do for a normal function, and then it prints that I did something. Now, if I wanna call the friends function, I cannot call by just typing here. So if you look at the IntelliSense is not giving me the option to pick any other function but the do something function. That means Visual Studio knows that you cannot access that function on this way. So even if I force the code here, this is not going to compile. So there's an error. And the error here says the celebrate birthday is not a member of dog. So if this is the first time that you see the friend function, this is very weird, because even though you were declaring and implemented the function within the class, it does not belong to the class. So the way to call this function is to just call it. However, if you just call it like that, C++ does not know which celebrate birthday function that you want to call. So because of that, you have to pass the object as a parameter right here. So in this case, I'm going to pass the Bella object. Now, back to the header file. If you remember, I said here that I made a mistake. It's missing the object. So I'm going to fix this now. So here I'm going to put the objects, and the object is dog, and the dog will be celebrating a birthday. And then the next thing I want to do is to update the celebrate birthday, and I need to put the dog together with the name of the dog here. In this case, it's going to be a dog D. And now you can call this friend function here, and if you pass the dog object, then it knows that you're referring to this specific function. So I'm going to go back to the main, and now the squiggly went away and I can run this program. So I'm going to run, and then I did something which got called by line 11, and then line 13 is calling celebrating birthday. So that's the main difference between a function that belongs to the class and a function that does not belong to the class. And again, the way you know which function you're calling is because you need to pass the object. So if you don't pass the object right here, C++ does not understand which friend function you're calling. All right, so I'm going to remove the do something here. And if you look right here on the object, it has a 3 dots, and when I hover over, it says here local variable not initialized. So there are many ways to solve this problem, but a good way to do it is just by creating a constructor. So I'm gonna create here a constructor, and then on the constructor, I'm gonna create a definition, and then I'm gonna put this dot age equals 0. So that initializes the age. You don't have to do that. You can also come here to the actual variable and initialize like so. However, it's kind of a bad habit to do that. Always initialize your variables on the constructor. So this is the constructor. And then I'm going to see out here a message that says the puppy dog was born. So if I run this program again, whenever I created the objects, it called the constructor, and the constructor printed the puppy dog was born. And then I called the celebrating birthday, and that function got called. But now let's improve this a little bit. So let's say I want to celebrate the birthday twice. So if I celebrate the birthday twice, then the dog celebrates the birthday, well, twice, but I would like the dog's age to change. So on the celebrated birthday, I'm gonna put the age of the dog right here. So celebrating birthday, age, and I'm gonna add here the d.age. And then I can also put the dog age and then plus plus here. But now I have a problem. I'm gonna run this program and then we're gonna see what the problem is. So I'm gonna run this program, and then the dog was born. When the dog was born, it was age 0. And then the celebrated birthday was age 1, and celebrate another birthday, but the age was still 1. Well, the problem here is that I'm changing the variable from the class, but because I'm passing this as value, then it never changes. So if I change this from value to reference, in other words, the address, then I can change the objects. To do that, I'm going to put the ampersand sign here. So I change this function, and then I also need to change the header. So I'm going to put the ampersand sign right there. And now the dog age will be changed. Now, if you notice one thing here is that the friend function, even though it's not part of the class, the friend function was able to change a private variable from the dog class, which is the age. Normally, a function that does not belong to the class would not be able to change the private members of the class. However, the friend function can access items of the private and also the protected. I don't have any protected item here because protected is mainly used for inheritance. But if I had any protected item, then the friend function would be able to access those as well. So remember, friend function is not a member of the class. However, you can access the private, public, and protected members of that class. All right, so the next thing I want to talk about is how to create overload. So the first overload I'm going to create is the left shift operator. So I'm going to create here another friend function. And this function is going to be the output stream. And I'm going to put the ampersand sign here because I want to change the output stream. And the operator is going to be the left shift operator. And the function is going to have two parameters. One is the output stream. I have to be able to modify that, so therefore I'm going to put the ampersand sign. And then I'm going to put the const dog class right here. And I also need to modify that, so therefore I'm going to put the ampersand sign. Up to this point of the video, I've been using this version of Visual Studio. But if you look at line number 7, you can see that there is a green squiggly underneath the celebrate birthday function. One of the reasons that you can have that green squiggly is because the function definition is not there yet, or in other words, have not been implemented. But I checked the function definition, it was there, and everything was working perfectly. So because of that, I think it was a bug on Visual Studio. So I stopped the video, and then I open a new version of Visual Studio that I have installed. So this is the version that I'm going to be using from now on in the video. All right, so I'm going to hover over and then show potential fixes, create the definition of the operator. So that creates for me the function. And then inside the function, there's a message right here that says insert return statement right here. So I'm going to insert the return statement. And the return is going to be the outstream. And that's the same outstream that I'm receiving right here as a parameter. And then I'm going to name the dog parameter as D. So whatever I get here, I return here. But now, what I can do is before I return, I can use the operator and I can add something to this offstream. So in this case, I'm just gonna add a message here saying, I am the operator. I'm gonna go back to the main function. So at this point of the video, notice the blue squiggly underneath the word Bella on line 9. And usually when Visual Studio has a squiggly for you, it needs attention. So in this case, it's just a spelling. I had the spell checker turn on right here on the top, but you can turn it off at any time. Alright, so back to the video. And then on the main function, I'm gonna do a cout, and I'm gonna cout Bella. So usually you cannot cout a object because Bella is a object, but because I'm using a different operator for this type of objects, when I run this program, the outstream behaves differently. So in this case, I'm just printing a message right here saying, hey, I am the operator. Now, I can do something different here as well. So I can come here and instead of just printing this, I can get the dog's age. So how about I say here, the dog's age is, and then plus the dot age. Now, if I run this program, I'm gonna have a problem right here that was unexpected, and the solution is so this is an integer. I need to convert this to string. So I'm gonna convert this to string using the function toString. And to use this function toString, I need to include the sstream, and that's gonna allow me to use the toString function. So now I convert the age to string and I concatenate with another string. And now if I run this program, I get here the dog's age is 2. So again, I'm able to do this kind of operation because I modified this operator to work with this kind of objects. And the way we do that is by creating a friend function together with the left shift operator. All right, so let's create another friend function here. And I'm gonna do another type of operator. I'm gonna use the plus operator. So I'm gonna create a friend function again. And this time, I'm gonna put the type of this function to be dog. In other words, this function must return a dog object. And then I put the word operator and the plus sign here. And then I'm gonna put the dog. I'm gonna put const dog d1 and then const dog d2. So this here is a friend function that we receive 2 dogs as parameter, and then we'll return 1 dog, and then we'll do that whenever I call the plus operator. So I'm gonna hover over, show potential fixes, and then create a definition of the operator plus. And here I have my other friend function. So the plus operator, remember, needs to return a dog. So I'm gonna create a dog here, dog, return dog. Then the return dog dot age is going to be a combination of dog1 and dog2 age. So d1.age plus d2.age. And then finally on the return here, I must return the object that I created specifically for the return, which is called the return dog. So the object is return dog. So this function just receives two dogs objects, adds their age, and creates a third dog object. All right, so let's use this function here. I'm gonna go to the main function, and now I'm going to create another dog. So dog, this dog is gonna call Max. And I'm gonna have Max celebrate a birthday as well, just so Max is not 0 years old. And then after that, I'm gonna create another object. This is gonna be the mixed dog. Mixed dog equals Bella plus Max. All right, so that's interesting. Usually we cannot do a addition or to use the plus operator with two objects like that. But in this case, because I created a function for that, then I can. Now, when I see out the mixed dog, we're gonna see that the mixed dog age is going to be a sum of Bella's age and Max's age. So here, Bella age should be 2, and here Max age should be 1. So therefore, this function here better print age 3, because age 3 is a combination of the two dogs when I add them together right here. So I'm gonna run this program, and here I have the code that created the Bella dog plus the birthday. Then it created the second dog, which is Max. The Max celebrated a birthday, so Max age is 1. The new puppy dog was born, so this is the mixed dog. And then finally, we printed the mixed dog, so it printed age equals 3. So what I want you to take from this video is a couple of things. The friend function is not a member of the class. However, the friend function can access the private member of the class. Now, the friend function, I created all these 3 here on the private area of the class. However, you can create these 3 functions anywhere you want to create. So I'm going to put it right here in the public area this time, and I'm going to run the program, and the program runs just as fine. So the location of your classes is irrelevant. So I can either move them to the protected area and run again, and the program runs just as fine. So the location is irrelevant. The other thing is friend functions can be created with the operators, so you can change the meaning of these operators here to do something, whatever that you want. And lastly, I did not cover in this video, but I want you to remember that if you do inheritance, the friend functions are not inherited when you inherit one class from the other class. All right, so that's all for this video. Thanks for watching.